Greetings, Guzzers. It's been a busy afternoon, early evening. Just installed a new dishwasher and a new washing machine. The wife buggered up the washing machine. It's fucking overloading it. I keep telling her, but she don't listen. Buggered it completely weeks ago. Dishwasher's been playing up for yonks. I think I've mentioned it before. So they both went today. New ones came in. Can't really see that one because I've got that one in. I'm not showing the washing machine, so I've got to move the door. But anyway, anybody needs any electrical appliances like washing machines or dishwashers, then I'm willing to tell him go and get fucked and get someone else to do it, because it's been a bastard of a job. Anyway, that's over. I finally got to be. I thought better not start while I'm still plumbing in. Might be accidents. Anyway, we're going to Afghanistan. And we're going to make Afghan chicken. Now, this recipe, apparently, it comes from Gizzy Erskine, I think it is. And she says in one of her little cookbooks how there's the Afghan kitchen in London, I think it is, and they make this superb Afghan curry, chicken curry, supposedly authentic Afghan chicken curry, but the recipe's secret. So she reckons she sussed it out. So this is sort of her recipe based on the Afghan kitchen's Afghan chicken curry, which is obviously based on proper Afghan chicken curry. So we're going to be making Afghan chicken curry. So there's not an awful lot of ingredients going to this. Okay, obviously this chicken, and what I've got here is some chicken thigh fillets, skinless, bones removed. Okay, I've got a smallish handful of fresh coriander, a slightly smaller handful of fresh mint, because that can be quite overpowering. 500 grams of Greek style yoghurt. I bought the low fat version because the wife insisted. Okay, I've got sort of 2 onions. They're not very big, actually one's quite small. So if you've got 1 large onion, that will do. 1 green chilli, about 6 cloves of garlic, some vegetable oil, some salt and pepper, and then you want some spices, for which you want some cardamom pods, some paprika, some ground coriander and ground cumin. And that's all there is to it. Now, traditionally, Afghan dishes are served either with rice or naan bread. So we're going to make rice. Now, I can't find my microwave cooker, so I'm going to have to boil up some rice the good old-fashioned way. And that topped me beer up as well. So before I get me board all messy with my chicken, I'm going to start by chopping up my mint and my coriander, and we'll just chuck all them in together because we'll be chucking them into the main cooking pot. You want something that you can put a lid on. All right. So I'm going to get chopping my herbs. All right. So that's my herbs all chopped. Now what I'm going to do is finally chop my onion. Now, I said to you, this is like a traditional Afghan dish, and traditionally it would be served with rice or naan bread. Afghanistan, because obviously where it is, gets influenced by sort of Persian cuisine, Asian cuisine, Indian cuisine. So you sort of find a lot of the dishes, have all these other influences. Dishes are accompanied by vegetables, generally sort of the kind of vegetables that might be available. And also, they're quite big on fruits, pomegranates, apples, sour things. Obviously, there isn't in this dish. Another big thing is dumplings. We've done dumplings before, a variety of dumpling ones before, and as it happens in Afghanistan there is a variety of dumplings. Excuse me, that's the beer. Excuse me. The thing is with the dumplings, because the dumplings can take quite a little while to prepare, I mean, this is a relatively quick dish. Dumplings obviously can take quite a bit longer, so dumplings would tend to be not necessarily served at large gatherings of people. They're more likely things you might make at home, think, oh, tonight we might do dumplings, because I've got plenty of time on my hands. But when you're thinking, oh Christ, I've got a bloody wedding and I've got 300 people to serve, I think I've got frigid dumplings. So dumplings, and another one is kebabs. Although I think it's sort of pronounced kebab in Afghanistan, I might be wrong. But that's how it looks like it's spelt. Right, so that's my onion chopped. Now, I'm doing all this before I get my chicken on my board and get chopping that up. Now I want to now finally chop my garlic, and I'm going to finally chop my chilli, and that's all going to go in that bowl together, because when we chuck that in the pan, oh, that onion's starting to get strong. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Onions make me cry. So we'll be adding just like we're adding both of them herbs together, we're adding the chilli and garlic together. So I'm going to just chop these together and put them in that bowl. So what was I saying, Afghanistan? Kebabs. Now kebabs obviously just a bit like kebabs you get anywhere else. The kebabs would tend to be not with rice, they would be with naan bread, and quite often dish it up with the meat, but the skewers add a bit of flavour, would have lumps of fat from sheep's tail, because mutton, sheep, is sort of one of the prime sort of meats, and of course I see a bit of garlic skin in there, can't see now, the eyes are stinging, oh never mind. Yeah, the meat tends to be halal, but mutton is quite a big meat, if you like. And so the kebabs, they will take the fat off the sheep's tails and put that on the skewers with the meat and cook that together like that, just for that extra flavour. Because remember, when you cook your meat, when you cook your steaks and your things like that, and your joints, it's the fat. You know, we go for sort of like trying to avoid fat, but just bear in mind that a lot of the flavour comes from the fat. That's why, you know, your nice bits of steak and that are nicely marbled with fat, because that's part of the flavour. I mean, if you're not careful, you know, just meat, the steak meat, if you like, on its own, can be a bit bland. You need a bit of fat in there to get your flavours going. Right, so that's that, and that's chopped, that's that chopped. All we need to do is now prepare my spices, and then we're going to get cooking. And I'm going to have to wash my hands because I need to pick my beer up, and I've got chilli on them. So our spices: ground coriander. We want 1 teaspoon. I've got a so a teaspoon of ground coriander, a teaspoon of ground cumin. When I bought some today, I keep grinding up my own cumin and my own coriander, which it turned out I had ground coriander anyway. A teaspoon of paprika. I was saying to you about the kebabs, so now they have the sheep's fat in it. They also will sprinkle, often as like a little extra, you know, flavouriser. Now you want about 4 green cardamoms. These are getting a bit old, so I haven't quite got 4. I've got a little bit more. And all I'm just going to do is I'm just going to crush them. All those little bastards don't want to crush. So that's our spice mix done. I thought that bloody mark on there. Then I thought I was picking up pepper glasses, I think. So Yeah, so I was saying they sprinkle on sumac, which we've used in the previous dish, and also something called gora, which is dried, ground up sour grapes. Again, there's extra flavouring. So, what I'm going to do before I start chopping the chicken is I'm going to put about a tablespoon, toasting the vegetable oil in there. Like I said, I've got some rice on the board. You could do it with naan bread if you like, but given we weren't sure what time the old appliances were turning up, I wasn't going to make naan bread tonight. And then, like I say, we need your yoghurt. Typically, Afghan chicken, or murgi, I don't know, is customary. It's one of the famous dishes of Afghanistan. You have yoghurt in it. You might also have cream in it. You might also have butter in it. You could have curd in it. Generally, most chicken dishes would have one of them in it. So, what was I going to do? I was going to, I don't need to really wash my hands, do I? But I'm going to get chopping up that chicken. So we're just going to chop the chicken to largest chunks. We're not, they're chicken thighs. So actually, thinking about it, they ain't going to be large chunks at all by the time I chop them up. So, time to get cooking. As you can see, I've got my chicken thighs chopped. So, I'm just going to put this onto a medium heat. Front row seat this time. So, put it here. Put it in there. Mainly because the rice is over there. I'm also going to put that rice on. Oh, that's a bit of a nasty one, that one, isn't it? I might put it on that one in a minute. Wait till we've got this cooking. It's going to cook for 20 minutes. Once we've got everything going, cook for 20 minutes. So I might put the rice over there. If I put it on there now, it'll block your view. And I know how much you want to see everything. So, for dessert, we're not having dessert. We might do. But we won't be having typical Afghan dessert. That would typically be stuff like fresh fruit and stuff like that. Now, what they wouldn't be doing is drinking this. They drink chai, tea. The main drink of Afghanistan is tea. Be green tea, black tea. Always have tea with a meal. Always have tea when you've got guests. Always serve them tea. Any kind of social gathering, serve tea. Not like us heathens, yeah, it's like, where's the bloody wine? Where's the alcohol? When we going to see him again? Didn't get any bloody booze out, did he, type bastard? But, no, so tea would be served with everything. It could just be straight tea. Most people it's just green tea, no sugar. But some do add sugar, some add cardamom, saffron, sugar, whatever. Now, there is another drink they have. I'll tell you that a bit in a minute. So what we're going to do first off is, once our oil's got up temperature, we're just going to brown off our chicken. Okay, so we're just going to, put it in there, brown it off. Now, bear in mind, the amount of moisture we get in our English chickens, I may well have to get the oil back out, because ideally what you do, when you remove your chicken, we'll use the remaining oil to fry up our onions and everything else. But I suspect we'll end up with a lot of moisture in there, in which case I'm going to chuck it away and start again. This is, by the way, this amount of chicken would be for 4 people, but remember, we're greedy bastards, right? So, like I say, I'm just going to toss this around in that hot oil, and we're just going to brown that off. And then you'll want something like a bowl to put it in while we then cook the rest of the stuff. So I'm just going to clean up my raw meat and my dirty hand, drink my beer, get my 3rd beer on the go. Oh, sorry, I'll get my next beer at 2nd beer. Did I say 3? Must have miscounted. Alright, so that chicken, you don't exactly say it's brown, but it's cooked off. So I'm going to turn it down to low, and then we're going to oink out the chicken. And actually there's not too much moisture in there. Pardon me. That's that first beer. And then the chicken will be going on. We will finish off cooking it when we've chucked everything else in there. But what we're going to do now is we're going to chuck in there, under that low heat, the onion, and we're going to cook that onion sort of gently, as it were, for about 8 minutes or so. We're not trying to brown it. We just want to get it nicely softened. Okay, and then we're going to be wanting to look. Magically, there's been some beer left in that can. Oops. Turn that down too low. I might turn that a bit too low. So we're just going to give that a stir occasionally, and like I say, we'll just soften it up for about 8 minutes. Yeah. Try and work out time. Could probably forget. Don't be about time quickly. So I'm saying to you, there's another drink that they have, particularly during sort of like the warmer weathers, you know, and that's probably not pronounce that right, D-O-O-G-H, or Chomley or Chambay, S-H-O-M-L-E-H or B-E-H, and they are essentially a cold drink, which is the cold water mixed with yoghurt, and then you might add a bit of fresh mint or dried mint. Some add crushed or dried cucumber, not dried, diced cucumber to it. And it's the second most consumed drink in Afghanistan. Tea being the first, like I told you, if you paid attention. Tea's the most popular. This yoghurty drink is the second. So, just get that cooked. You're going to want some salt and pepper. I've got my fresh ground salt and pepper there. Right, so with this, just cook our onion. I'm going to heat up a little bit. Right, that's softened up that onion. So now what we're going to do is we're now just going to chuck in there our garlic and our chilli. And we're just going to cook that through for about a minute. Okay. Just to get some of them flavours going. And then get your spices ready. And remember the old what's the name, seeds, cardamom pods. They're just crushed. And when we come to eat it, try not to eat them. So there you go. That's giving them a little go. So I knew if I put that in there, it'll stick in there. So in go the spices. So again, we just mix that for about another minute. Ooh, that handles it more. Excuse me, that's that first beer. So it's customary in Afghanistan that you eat off the floor. Now, not literally off the floor. Basically, you sit on the floor. You do put a tablecloth down. Dastarkhan. Dastarkhan? I don't know. Something like that. Yeah, you just seated on the floor, but obviously you're not eating off the actual floor. You put a tablecloth down, you've got, you know, bowls or whatever. Right, so now I'm going to put in there my yoghurt. So, like I say, it's about 500 grams of Greek style yoghurt. Don't ask me why it's Greek style. But this is the low fat one, you don't actually have the low fat one. Okay, just going to mix that in. And then, now you might want to add a dash of water, but there's some juices from this chicken, so I'm not going to bother. In that goes. Just going to mix that through. Okay, and then we're going to add a little bit of salt and pepper. And then them fresh herbs. There they go. And now all we do is we just stir this all together. And then I'm going to put the lid on it. And we're going to let this slowly cook for about 20 minutes. Now at this point I'm going to put my rice on because we're having rice with it. So where's my lid gone? There's my lid. And like I say, that cooks for about 20 minutes until that chicken is nice and tender and cooked through. Go. So that's 20 minutes. So let me just turn that. I just moved it over, cooked me rice. Now, what you will notice is it does appear to have curdled, probably has, but that's okay. Okay, that's just typical. So, I've done me rice. Nice little pyramid of rice there. So, let's just dish up some of it. Get over. Just so that we can have a little taster. Let that cool a bit. So, this is our Afghan chicken, or Afghan yogurt chicken. Strangely, it's a bit tangy. Not getting an awful lot of heat through. There's you can taste the mint, you get the coriander, a bit garlic. There you go. That's your Afghan chicken curry. Now, if it's a special occasion, of course, every evening when I cook for my darling wife is a special occasion. After the meal, we would have tea, of course. Oh, maybe choke with the thought of drinking tea after we dinner. And then I would have some white sugared almonds, because apparently that's a special treat in Afghanistan, sorry. There you go, your Afghan chicken curry.